Frank drove a distance of 300 miles one way. The round trip took him 11 hours. The average 10 miles per hour faster on his return trip. Find his average speed going and returning. So let's make a little chart here for this problem. So this is like a distance rate time problem. So I have two cases here. Distance, rate, and time. That's what we want to record here. So if I write here just going forward, and here would be back, going back. So we know distance would be equal to rate times time. Let's fill out what we have here. We know the distance is the same for both of them, so this would be 300. This would be 300. We know the rate, one is faster, so we know it's going, if I assume this would be x, the other one would be x plus 10 because we're going faster on the way back. So we can figure out the time here. So the time, can somebody tell me what would be the time in terms of x for going? What's that? This would be the time 1, let's call it time 2. So let's write the formula. 300 is equal to x times t1. So it's not 300x. How do you solve for x? How do you solve for t1? You need to divide both sides by x, right? So it looks like 300 over x would be the time here that we record, right? It would be 300 over x. Similarly, 300 is equal to x plus 10 times the second time, t2. So if I want to solve for t2, what do? Divide both sides by x plus 10. So t2 then would be equal to 300 over x plus 10. And that would be the time that we record here. Now this time would be, what would the relationship between the time here? It takes how long? It says Frank drove a distance of 300 miles one way. The return trip took him 11 hours. So anyone know what will be the formula here? What's the relationship here? So you see these two times, T1 and T2, should add up to 11. So here we have 300 over x plus 300 over x plus 10 is equal to 11. Okay, to solve this, we need to find the LCD. What is LCD, anyone? looks like LCD is x times x plus 10. So if I multiply each term by x times x plus 10, I can eliminate the fraction. You notice that you can make a little note here if you like. X cannot be equal to 0. X plus 10 cannot be equal to 0. So x cannot be equal to negative 10, because that would cause those fractions to become undefined. So if I multiply each term by x times x plus 10 over 1, that would guarantee us to eliminate all the fractions. So if I multiply this by that, the x cancels. I get 300 times x plus 10. So first term I would get 300. X cancels, you get x plus 10. Second term, x plus 10 cancels, so you get 300 times x. In the last term, I would get 11x times x plus 10. If I distribute these, I get 300x plus 3000 plus 300x equal to, if I distribute this, I get 11x squared. Distribute this, I get plus 110x. We need to move everything to one side of the equation and combine them together. So let's go ahead and combine these two. This would be 300 and 300. That gives me 600 plus 600. And if I write this as 600x plus 3000 is equal to 11x squared plus 110x. I'm going to move everything to the right side, so I'm going to subtract 600x from both sides of the equation. So that would be minus 600x. I already have 110x here to add together, and then subtract 3000 from both sides of the equation, so everything would be equal to 0. So it looks like I get 11x squared. If I combine minus 600 plus 110, that gives me minus 490 x minus 3000. Now you can use quadratic formula to solve this, or factor it. This is factorable actually. This would be 11x. If you don't see how to factor this, you can use a quadratic formula. Of course, 3000, 6 and 5 would be 30, so it looks like 60 and 50 would work. 60 and 50, so it would be plus and plus, and that add up to 490. Then you multiply this. But again, if you don't see how to factor this, you can easily use the quadratic formula. The first one gives you a negative answer, so that's not what we want, because if I get 11x plus 60 is equal to 0, I get 11x equal to minus 60, x equal to minus 60 over 11, and that cannot be possible because we're looking for a rate positive number. So x plus 50 equal to 0, Yeah, one of them has to be negative, so this is negative 50. Now it makes sense. So now we have x is equal to 50 find the average speed, so that would be 50 miles per hour. Don't forget to put the units here. Again, if you don't see how to factor this, you can always use the quadratic formula. If you do use the quadratic formula, you get minus 60 over 4 and 50 using the quadratic formula. Or if you can see how to factor this like we did here, then would be a way to do it. So this is how you find the rate.